Good morning, everyone. Today is Saturday, and I am sleepy. I didn't have a good night of sleep last night. Nothing really. Nothing was going on. What's going on here? I just couldn't fall asleep. I don't know why that was, but I just simply couldn't fall asleep. It's not like we ate that late or anything. It just, we were watching TV a little bit later last night, I guess, and by the time we tried to go to bed, I just couldn't fall asleep. So I didn't sleep that much. I think I slept like maybe 4 hours, what my Aura ring said. And it's interesting to see. So a couple of interesting things this morning. Some of you might know, but maybe some of you don't know, some of the measurements and things that I do as part of this ongoing weight loss effort, that it's, mainly a health improvement effort. A couple of the things that I'm doing to measure, or that I'm measuring in the morning. Sorry, I'm not very eloquent right now. I'm still half asleep, but having a difficult time. But two of the things that I'm doing right now is I'm measuring my blood pressure, because my blood pressure was not great. I had at the beginning of this, so. Back in February, I was in hypertension, stage 2, I believe. And I am taking, my doctor in the U.S. put me in a blood pressure medication. And so I'm taking that, but also this that we're doing, eating healthier, exercising, trying to lose weight, like all of those things are helping, but and for the most part, my blood pressure's been really great. Yesterday it was perfect. I think it was 116/71 or something along those lines. So, perfect. And then this morning I get a really high reading. It was like 134/87 or something like that. And I was like, what? And I'm guessing it has to do with the lack of sleep. I mean, sleeping is so important. So important. It's like the most important. And, I even did it again. And the thing that I have for measuring blood pressure is, it's a really cool device, but it takes 3 readings in a row and it gives you the average. So, to make sure that you're not getting the odd number. And I did it twice. So I got 6 readings and both averages came out to exactly the same, so it wasn't a fluke or anything. But I'm guessing the lack of sleep is throwing me off. Now, the other thing that I'm measuring in the mornings, the Lumen, which is that little device that measures my metabolism, and you may or may not know that ideally we want to wake up in a state of fat burn. We want to make sure that since we have extra fat, that our metabolism is flexible enough so that it consumes the carbs that that are available when we eat them, and then as quickly as possible switch back to fat burn, which is a more stable source of fuel for our bodies, and ideally what's going to help us lose weight, get rid of that fat mass, and increase our lean mass, I guess, by decreasing fat mass. I guess if you're losing muscle, but ideally we're not losing muscle, we're trying to work out, we're trying to eat enough protein, and all of those things. So I got a 1, which is basically the best measurement that you can get in the morning from Lumen, which means that my body isn't fat burn. It's where we want to be. Even though we had, you know, we were not super restrictive with carbs yesterday. And so it's great. It's great. It's, you know, my metabolism seems to be working fine. I just remember that I should weigh myself. Let's go over there and weigh ourselves. Now that we're back on weighing ourselves. Okay, so let's grab our lime. Just put it over here. All right. Can you guys see there? And we're gonna do this. We're gonna let the hair hang. And we're gonna take off our shorts. And this is how we've been weighing ourselves. So let's see, I think this measures in kilos, and I think it was 141 yesterday. Okay, exactly the same, 141, so no changes there. I don't know how sensitive this thing is and how, I think it's supposed to be pretty sensitive, but again, this is more just to make sure that the trend is going in the right direction, as opposed to measuring, you know, micro changes, because this is not a very exact, or I wouldn't think that it would be a very exact scale, body scale, but, you know, good enough. So now you guys are seeing how I do my hair in the morning. Do a couple loops. 3 actually. I always say a couple when I mean a few, just sort of, just in case you ever notice it. Push it down, comes around, and then goes in. And actually, Jolima and I were brainstorming last night about different ways to do my hair. Just because we want something to be, oh, my breakfast is ready. Gracias, baby. It's so sweet. She makes me breakfast. Just trying to figure out better ways to wear my hair where I don't have to hide it in the little backpack. And it's also not just like hanging there, because then it would drag on the floor and that would be gross. And we were coming up with new ways to figure it out, to do it, and we got a few. We'll see. Today, we are having our usual breakfast of 3 fried eggs and 1 arepa. And again, I want to measure the arepa. I don't know exactly. I don't think it's like super crazy high carb, but I want to know. I want to, at some point, recently, I mean, we did buy a food scale, so I want to start using it a little bit just to get a better idea of the things. But yeah, this is it. Today we're going on a little adventure, and you guys are coming along. There's a little, I don't want to say town, I don't know what it is. We're going to basically find out. There's some like, I think they call it like a medieval town or something. But it's supposed to be, it's like almost 2 hours away from here. Well, not 2 hours by car. I mean, we're going to take the bus. So it always takes a little longer, but it's supposed to be this location that looks like a little medieval town, like some of those medieval towns in Europe or something. And it's close to here, to Buenos Aires. And so we're going to go check it out. We'll probably end up eating somewhere over there. So we'll see what we can get. And yeah, that is it. So I'm going to have my breakfast, and I will see you guys in a little bit.
All right, so it's time for lunch, and something interesting happened because we had a plan to go and spend the day at this place that was like about like an hour and a half to 2 hours outside of Buenos Aires, and it's supposed to be like this medieval little village, and they're supposed to have like a restaurant and stuff there. So yeah, we were just gonna get there, spend a day, have have lunch there or whatever, and then come back. And then, of course, we travel for like 2 hours. We get there, and it turns out that it was closed. They closed early on Saturdays, and we forgot to look for the hours of operation. So then we were like, oh, what do we do now? Like, we're like over an hour and a half outside of the city. There's nothing around, and we don't know what to do. So then we're coming back, and everybody's getting extra hungry because it's a little bit late. Sorry if I'm a little distracted. It's really distracting because it's really loud, and I hope you guys can hear me okay. But anyway, so then everyone is really hungry, and they sort of all voted for having milanesas, which is sort of like a chicken or veal parmesan. But it's different here because it is that, but it's served with it's not served with pasta or sauce, but it's got like different little toppings, and so that's what we're going to be having for lunch today. I'll show you guys. These are the things that are a little difficult to make, little decisions that are difficult to make because at this point I am hungry. Everybody wanted to have this thing, but again, we're being really good throughout the week, and so we can relax for a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to show you guys what the food gets here, and also just chill for a minute. I'm tired. Didn't really sleep that well last night. I think I told you guys earlier that today, and at this point I'm hungry, and I'm just, it's taking everything out of me to not be like, I'm so ravenous at the moment. So, all right, see you guys in a bit. Now, look at this, you guys. So this is all like a veal parmesan, I believe. And yeah, basically this is all. ¿Se las pidieron de carne, cierto?
Sí. No me preguntaron, pero supongo que sí.
Sí. So, yeah, it's like a veal parmesan, and this one has caramelized onions, bacon, and eggs. This one has cheddar, bacon, and eggs. So, there is a fair amount of protein. Of course, the breading is all carbs, but there is a fair amount of protein in here. So, yeah, not bad at all. So this is what we're going to be having for lunch. It's pretty good. I'm going to eat. I really am really hungry right now. So that's it. I will see you guys a little bit later for dinner. Meanwhile, I'm just going to dive into this. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back. I feel like when I was trying to explain about lunch, I was just feeling very distracted. My ADD makes it so that, especially when there's a lot of noise and sound around me. I guess it's not even just noise, because, visuals as well. It's very easy for me to, or I guess it's very difficult for me to concentrate on something like talking to the camera, like especially being in a loud restaurant. And so I feel like, given the situation, the choice for lunch was a little bit better. Try to focus on as much protein and fat as we could in terms of the milanesas. It's like a veal parmesan basically, but without the sauce or anything. It's like, it's not necessarily veal here, but it's beef. And then of course it's breaded, and the breadedness is not the best kinds of carbs that we could have, but trying to balance that with the protein from the beef, and then the egg and the bacon, and like all of that stuff. And so yeah, not terrible.
It was a lot of food, and basically after that, I didn't really feel like eating anything. We ended up going to the movies. We had decided to do this plan, going to this, and I think I mentioned it, so I can't remember if I already said it, but we're going to this place. It's outside of Buenos Aires. It's supposed to be this sort of like medieval village or something. It's like a cool thing to visit, but we got there and we forgot to check the hours and it was closed, and so we were kind of like left with like, what do we do now? Because like there's nothing around here, so we had to like come all the way back to Buenos Aires and we didn't know what to do. So we ended up, we were trying to decide, and they said like, oh, let's go get milanesas, which is also like a very typical thing here. And so we did that, and then we just ended up going to a movie, and after that I was exhausted, and we just came home, and it was, by the time we got home and stuff, it was like, I don't know, 8, 9 p.m., something like that. And it was just, I didn't really feel like eating anything. I mean, I could have, obviously, but didn't really feel like making anything. And so we decided like, well, it's okay. We don't need to have any dinner, and it's pretty good. So something that's interesting is that, well, it's already the next day, so I guess I'm just going to leave it at that for now, for here. And let's just, I will see you guys tomorrow. A few minutes for me, tomorrow for you guys. And then I'll tell you about some interesting, surprising things this morning. So, see you tomorrow.